Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, welcome. Maria, I'm putting you in right now. Hi, Maria.
I'm just saying, hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, it's connecting. Hold on. Oh, there we go.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Say it again.
I got really hungry.
Did you? So you didn't eat dinner, huh?
No, my family still started, but I was like,
It's
knock 'em
okay.
out real quick.
It's okay. I didn't really eat dinner either.
Come on,
Thank you, thank you. Hi, everybody that's joining. We're gonna get started soon.
yeah, we'll get started. We'll give people like 3 minutes to
Mm-hmm.
a couple minutes.
Is my audio good? You can hear me well?
I hear you well. I know
Okay, okay.
better. Don't we like that song?
I love this song.
I love this song. You know what's so funny? If you listen to the lyrics, I'm like, oh, the lyrics are when he said, if you're hungry, I got the lace. I said,
He is so funny. Like,
it's funny.
mm-hmm.
All right, let's let
Mm-hmm.
big God.
Hello, hello. I love the orange, not orange, yellow jacket that you got going on.
Thank you. This is cold. So, right, big.
I
Anyway,
can't hear you too much. It's like skipping a little bit.
let me see. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you better.
Okay. All right. So let's get started, boo.
You
I'll
want to get?
introduce I'll introduce everything, and we'll get started.
You sure?
Well, you introduce me.
Okay. Well, then I'm gonna pause this music so that I can hear myself and you can hear me. All right. So we're ready to go. We're ready to start now.
Yes, we is.
All right. Hello, hello, everyone. My name is Isis, and I am an intern here at Embrace Our Legacy. And welcome to our first Pink Table Talk. And I'm sure most of you may know about Red Table Talk, but we're putting a little spin on it and we're giving it that Embrace Her Legacy flair. So today we're going to be talking about the pressures of social media and your relationship with social media, whether that's positive or negative, and we're going to get down into the nitty gritty of it all. So I will be having the social media Q&A with Maria Melendez here, who is the founder and CEO of Embrace Her Legacy. She's a motivational speaker. She's an entrepreneur. She's an author, and she's also a podcast host. And a little bit of promo. This Wednesday, March 24th, the first episode of the new Embrace Her Legacy podcast season will be debuting. It's going to be a great episode about women's empowerment, and you don't want to miss it. It's going to be available on all streaming platforms, on all podcast platforms, and our YouTube, Embrace Her Legacy. I'm going to be tuning in. You guys should too. And before I give Maria the mic, I just want to say this is a safe space. So laugh with us, show us some love, comment, ask some questions, and of course, hit that donate button down below to support what Embrace Her Legacy does for women and young girls all over the world. So now I'm going to hand it over to Maria.
Well, I don't have anything to say after that, honey. You kicked the intro. Thank you, Isis. Thank you for just really leading the charge in this. I know I'm leading the charge, but I thank you for coming on and leading the charge in this space. I really appreciate it. So we're going to be talking about social media pressures. Is your relationship with social media healthy? I am so grateful to do this and to be here. And this is just an opportunity for the Pink Table Talk is really an opportunity for people to get to see what Embrace Her Legacy also offers and experience what we do and all the empowering and uplifting and transformation that we do. And for those of you who don't know, Embrace Your Legacy is a 501c3 nonprofit personal development organization. And we offer transformational social, personal, and leadership development for women and girls worldwide. And Yes, so I'm ready to get started. So let's go. Let's talk about social media, and please also an opportunities to support the 501c3 nonprofit work that we do. So you can hit the donate button that is pinned at the bottom to support the.
Yes.
So Isis, let's jump into it. Let's talk social media. I know you have some questions for me.
Yes, I do. Okay, so to start off, just, simple question. How many times do you check social media a day? And is it the first thing that you check when you wake up?
Oh gosh. I check social media quite a few times a day, and that's because of work, because of you. You know what we do behind the scenes of Embrace
Hmm.
Her. I have to make sure I'm on top of things, even though the team does an amazing job. So I check it quite a few times a day. I don't even know how many, but quite a few times. And I have a timer on, which we'll get to in a second. But is it the first thing I check in the morning? Absolutely not. I think that social media is a gift and a curse, and sometimes it can be so distracting and so overwhelming. I'm very intentional about my morning routines, and my mornings are very sacred. Isis knows that Isis texts at 7:45 a.m. She knows she's not until after 9 a.m. And it's not that I'm not up. It's just that I like to leave my morning time for prayer, affirmation, reading God's word, drinking a cup of coffee, working out. There's a morning routine. And then when I sit at my desk, and I'm ready to start today, that's when I check social media. And to be honest, Isis, unless we have a meeting, there are often times that it'll go into the wee hours of the afternoon and I haven't checked social media. And that's me being intentional
Hmm.
about it, because it's like, I don't want to hear all of the noise, if that makes sense. So I've had to learn how to put boundaries over social media and like make sure I have a healthier relationship with it. What about you, Isis? Do you check social media first thing in the morning?
I am not going to lie to you. My alarm will go off and I'll roll over and I'll be on Instagram. I'm not gonna lie. So, do you think that it's okay to check social media in the morning, or would you advise against it?
I would advise against it, but to each his own. Like some people like checking. I get it, because our phones are everything, right? So my alarm is attached to my phone. So, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't wake up on that first alarm. I wake up on the second one, like 20, 30 minutes after the second one. So when I hit my alarm, I already see texts and emails and all of that. And I get the temptation to want to hit what's going on in the world. But what I do is again, to each his own, but I don't think it's the healthiest practice, because you've heard everybody else's voice but yourself, but God's voice in the morning. So you want to censor yourself a little bit before you start inviting other voices into your environment. That's just how I feel about it.
That is definitely some good advice. So, as you're looking at social media, like, whenever you get a chance to, are you comparing yourself to things that you see? Are you like engaging with your feed, liking, commenting, or are you just like soaking it all in, just seeing it all?
It's difficult to not compare yourself to other people on social media. I'd be lying, you know, especially it depends on what you're comparing yourself. I'm not really one person to compare how I look physically, because that's an area that I feel strong and I'm confident about. But you do compare yourself, and you're like, sometimes you can compare yourself, or for me speaking, or I can get inspired by someone, or I see one of my people is doing something amazing. I'm like, I'm the queen of a comment with a yes and fire, all things woman empowerment or whatever. If it's somebody's birthday, I can get engaging with my feed. But then, yeah, the comparison devil definitely comes around, and you like, and that's when the time is to have those conversations with yourself, those healthier conversations with yourself.
I'm not gonna lie to you, those inner saboteurs definitely creep up when I'm on Instagram, especially being so young and seeing like all these people are like, I know that people that are my age that have like these expensive cars, these houses, and I'm just like, how are you doing this? Like, and having their degrees early, and I'm just like, I sometimes I'm like, I wish that was me, but you know what? I know God has a plan, and I know I'm on my own timeline, so yes.
And you know what, Isis? I feel for your generation, because your generation grew up with this stuff. Like
Hmm.
my and we remember not having cell phones. We remember, I think my first cell phone, I got it in high school, and I was it. Like, it was like I was one of the cool girls because I had a cell phone. has a cell phone, I clearly remember AOL and the dial-ups and things like that. And so I like to say I'm part of the Facebook generation, because when Facebook first hit, when Zuckerberg hit it at Harvard or whatever, you
Mm-hmm.
need to be a college student to sign up for Facebook. And I was part of that crowd in 2005. And that's when social media kind of like, started to get its wings. We had MySpace, things like that. But now social media has become such um a part of our society. It's embedded into the society now, right? So it's a lot different than it was 15 years ago. And to have, or for your generation to have all those images constantly speaking and telling to you, like you said, people graduating early, getting houses, getting cars, getting this vacation, and
Mm-hmm.
and Isis, the girls in our programs have spoken about body, issues, and comparing themselves to social media, Instagram, I don't want to say any names, but you know what I'm talking about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they look a certain way, and what that does for you. So my heart bleeds for the generation, and that's why we have programs like Embrace Your Legacy, which you can donate to, um, on the pinned chat, on the pinned the pinned comment below where you can donate, or
Mm-hmm.
exactly text Embrace to 844-701-5181.
Yes. So, jumping off of that, what advice would you give to someone who struggles with like self-image or just comparing themselves when they're looking at social media?
Ooh. First, my therapist and I, yes, the coach has a therapist. My therapist and I were talking about this, and she said something very profound. And this is because for me specifically, there's an idea of where you'll be by a certain time in your life. And when it does not look like that, you can be disappointed, right? So I was talking to my therapist about where I thought I'd be and what I thought I have, and then she was like, "Well, where do you feel the triggers?" I was like, "On social media." And then she said something. She was like, "Maria, when did these people get that much power over you? Like, you're giving people power over you to really alter your mood because of you're comparing themselves." And once she said that word and framed it like that, about giving someone else power, I'm really big on that word and people having power over me. So I said, you know what, I have to you're giving people power that didn't ask for it. That's a lot of power to give to someone that, per what they post or whomever's posting on social media, you're triggered by comparison. So that's the first thing, is to stop giving people power who didn't ask for it, and then find out why it's triggering for you. So there was a young lady who was part of the Embrace Her Legacy team a couple of years ago, and she had to completely stop following like romantic love, black love, and
Mm.
just endured a really bad breakup. And she was like, "Maria, I just can't see happy people in love on social media."
And it
And she
gets like that.
it gets like that. So she knew what was triggering her, why it was triggering her. She took action. So find out why it's triggering for you. What is it in you that's feeling not content, not satisfied? Find out what your self-worth is in. Like, you have to know we got to know what your identity, your self-worth, your meaning, your approval, your worthiness, where is your confidence, where is that coming from? If it's coming from your external world, that means it's really fragile. That means you're only going to feel good about yourself when you look about a certain way, when you do certain things. Like, you have to learn to have a really loving relationship with yourself, no matter, because you were created in the image of God. And if God loves you just as you are, and like you said, Isis, you said God has a plan for me, right? I'm not going to stress who's posting this or who's graduating, because I know everything's done according to his plan for me. Then that works. That helps working, as well as doing the work about where your self-worth and your identity and your approval comes from. And also, what helps a lot for me is keeping track of my progress. So I keep something called an "I did that" file, or a gratitude journal.
Okay.
Day, or at least a couple of times a week, at least once a week, I write down my wins. I write down everything I've gotten accomplished. And I have done this, I've kept this log since 2019. So I can now go back. And when my inner saboteur is screaming at me on social media, like, oh, look at her. She's doing this and she's doing that. I can pull up my receipts and I'm like, oh, no. Look at all I'm doing. Look at the progress I've made. So that way I can feel good about myself. So when I see somebody else posting some amazing things, I'm like, sis, I celebrate you because I know I'm doing my thing behind closed doors too. And I trust God that when it's time, it's time. Sometimes it's
Right.
just, and yeah, that's pretty much what I would give to advice to someone. Keep an I did that journal, keep a gratitude journal, master your lane and mind your business. Because some of us get on social media, we don't know how to mind our business, and then we inviting all sorts of energy and frustrations into the world, into your life, and it's like you should have just minded your business. Nobody asked you. I'm the queen of my find on identifying, where your self-worth, meaning approval and worthiness and confidence is coming from, and what's for you, it's for you, and you won't miss it. Find out what is triggering and then stop giving people power like that.
I loved all of that. So, I work with you every single day. And, sometimes we'll have conversations and you'll tell me, you know what, I'm not going to be on social this week. So, tell me more about your social media fast and how often do you do them and why?
I do them anytime I feel like doing them. I would say last year, 2020, I did them a lot more for obvious reasons. 2020 was,
Hmm.
especially around this time last year when COVID was, making its peak and we were hearing deaths every day. I was just like, I got to get the heck off of social media. One, I do them for my own, I take social media breaks, social media fast for my own mental health and my own mental emotional health. Some things are just, it's too much. It's like I said, when COVID had first hit and everybody was like, I got to get off and I got to go into my prayer closet, so most of the times when I'm taking a social media fast, I'm feeling overwhelmed by what's going on and I need to take a break and I need to hear God, because it could be so many voices. Again, I don't even know my own voice. I could barely, not even, I need to hear God, I need to hear me. So when I take my social media fast, it's to like quiet the noise. A lot of us want direction. We want, okay, what should I do next? I don't know what to do. Sometimes you just need to quiet everything that's going on around you. So that's normally what I do. I do that and then I also, why else do I do social media fast? Not only to quiet the noise, sometimes I remember, one of my good girlfriends and I were talking over this past weekend, and we are both in this space of um carving our lanes, entrepreneurs, doing our thing, and it can be very pressuring and very overwhelming. And those thoughts of, why am I not where I thought I would be? And everybody else is on social media, everybody else posting, da da da. And I remember we talked about this weekend about a couple years ago when I called her in tears in the middle of the day. She's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I can't take it anymore. Like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. I'm going to quit. And one of the things she told me that day, she said, Maria, get off of social media today. She's like, get off of social media. And it wasn't like I said social media was triggering for me, but she knew that was part of the triggering pie. And we were talking about it. And sometimes I just take social media breaks just to get away from that feeling of when the comparison devil starts coming around and you start feeling like, your inner saboteur is out here throwing swings at you. Sometimes I just get off for that, to remind myself of how amazing. And then sometimes just to live in the moment. Like, sometimes I don't want to like post and record where I am and what I'm doing. Sometimes I really just want to savor that moment with my friends and my family. And to be honest, I'll be one to say, I think it's almost, for me, it can be annoying when I'm with certain people and all you want to do is take pictures. And let's have you take a picture. I'm like, girl,
It's
like,
like live in the moment. Like, we're here right now.
can we just have a good time? So that's what I'm doing. But most of the time it's really for my mental sanity and my spiritual, my emotional, my mental sanity. That's why I do it.
Okay. So I know, like, you have all these titles, CEO, founder. So does your profession ever get in the way of that? Do you ever feel like you have to be like, oh, I have to go right back on, even though I want to take a break?
Yes, that's where you come in, Isis.
Me
That's
and Autumn.
been like, I definitely feel that way. And I am grateful that I have a team now that I can pull back. And I'm grateful that I have you girls, you wonderful young women on my team that I can be very direct with and say, I need to take social media off. And that's when I feel like, my profession does limit me, right? So in those moments where I feel like just too overwhelmed and I can't do it, that's where you have people who you can call on, and y'all can come in and y'all will be in communicating with me about social media on what's going on. And those are the moments where I really do lean on y'all, and I thank y'all so much. Y'all really are my angels, my godsend, team legacy. Because if I would lose my mind if I had to like run our social and run everything all the time. I wouldn't be in a mental space to lead effectively. So that's where that happens. And there are certain times where I'm like, gosh, I gotta post. Like, I want to take a social media fast next week, and I'm thinking about the podcast episodes coming out next week. I'm like, gosh, how am I gonna do that, right? But I'm gonna lean on y'all, and I'm gonna let y'all post and promote. And when I get back on social after a couple of days off, I'll post it. That's when my God is like, God, you're gonna have to do this because I can't. So yeah.
That is what we are here for. I'm always happy to help. So, what are some things that you do when you're taking a social media fast, or what would you suggest to the people to do? Keep themselves occupied.
Oh my God, what do I do? You know what? It depends. There's social media fast on the weekend. I'm literally just Netflixing and chilling. Like, I'm
That's
literally
important.
not doing nothing fabulous, honey. And especially now with shutdowns and things, world is not as open as it once was. So prior to when my social media is fast, prior to COVID, I would definitely be like hanging out with my friends, having a good time. But now that happens few and far between, I'm home, relaxing, Netflixing, watching television. A big part of my social media fast, so I'm like quiet, I'm in prayer. I have like my worship prayer music around, I'm listening to that. I'm feeding my spirit. Like, I'm watching things that are, whether it can be anything from a Iyanla Vanzant to a Bishop T.D. Jakes message, or Stephen Furtick, or my own pastor. I am immersed in doing things that are going to feed and strengthen my inner man, because of my inner woman. If she's not strong, everything else is gonna go down. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing things to feed my spirit, feed my soul. I'm probably Netflixing and chilling. I'm probably trying a new recipe. I'm minding my business. Like,
And that's all you can do.
that's all I can do, right? Yeah.
hmm I would definitely say for me personally, I like to, just because of you've made me want to get off social media because I'm like, you know what? There is a lot of noise. So I feel like I've picked up a few hobbies, definitely, like, cooking. I've even tried to do like lashes, nails, like keeping myself occupied. So I feel like that's definitely good.
And you're so good at the lashes. Like, you're
Thank you.
so good at a beat situation. So I like this. I'm glad that you are taking social media fast, Isis. I didn't know.
Yes.
Good, good,
I
good.
need it sometimes. It gets a little hectic.
Guys, especially when there's like so much going on, like, and when it's like a real, last year there was a real what is it? I want to say heavy political climate going on.
hmm
I was just like, okay, I gotta get off of this. Like, this is just too much, And I think when they won, I think you text me like you were like,
hmm
and it was like, whew, sigh of relief. So in those moments where there's a lot going on, I just, sometimes it's good to step away for a minute.
It definitely is. So, doing social media fast, those are very, very important. But I would like to ask you, what type of boundaries would you set in order to have a better relationship with social media? Because fasts are one thing, but you have to help yourself overall.
Oh, girl, this is a good question. Let me drink water. First thing, a boundary I have is I have timers on. I have a timer on Instagram. When
hmm
my trigger is Instagram, and study shows that photos can be way more triggering and feed your comparison devil. It's more apt to your comparison devil photos as opposed to a post on Facebook, like, words, because we think with pictures. So pictures are they're visual, you see it, they provoke emotion. So I have a timer on Instagram. I allot myself 35 minutes a day on Instagram.
Oh.
once that goes out, it goes out. And unless a day like today, obviously I've lifted the timer because I knew I was going to do the live, but that's why I try not to look at social until late in the day because I know I'm on time limit. So that's the first thing I say. Put timers on the apps so you would be surprised how much time goes by with you scrolling. So that's definitely what I do. I also limit. Hi, Biana. I try to do to help me to present. Biana is one of our junior. She's one of our board members. She is our college
Oh,
board member. Hi, Biana. I try to do things
hello.
that yeah, media can
It
have you
can.
everything but your own life. You like, well, what? What's on? So I also limit what I share on social media. I have learned to put boundaries and protect my space. Not everyone needs to know everything about all of the time. That's something that this generation that makes this upcoming generation. I'm like, oh, why do we know that? Like,
Oh, girl, it's hard. You just want to post everything, and it's just like, you know what? Let me
no,
take a step back. Let me take a step back. Do they need to know my business? No.
no. I was like, no, 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 no. And when I was younger, and like previous relationship, I would post and things like that. And this time around, I said my personal life, I'm gonna try to keep it real personal. I'm very open about where I am and things like that, but certain things I just want to protect. I'm open about like being single in the city, and I share my stories, but just want to be just careful about what I'm sharing on social media, because once you put something out, you have invited the world to chime in. Perfect example. I don't know what happened with Kirk Franklin and his son last week or 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Now you invited the world into your family business. So I like to limit what I'm sharing on social media, which I think is helpful. Another boundary that I would suggest to have a better relationship is knowing your triggers and unfollowing or muting certain accounts. So if you, like I said, the young lady who couldn't watch, she literally said, anybody in love right now, because she was in a space. I get it. Oh my God, a heartbreak will have you like losing your mind. So I would say find out what's triggering for you. And I know sometimes people get in their feelings if you're not following them. So mute them if you know, because some people are great in person, but you don't like them on social media.
And that's okay.
That's okay. You can definitely mute them on follow accounts. I would also say get busy living your purpose and living out your why. Because when you're busy living your own life and you know you out here doing your thing, you like, I don't need the validation of social media. Like, I'm out here doing my thing. Like, and Biggie has a song and he says real G's move in silence. And that's like an old school code where you want to be, sometimes I don't need to post all my wins. Me and God know how I'm winning. There's a lot of wins that are happening right now that I'm just like, I don't need to post. As a matter of fact, when I got accepted to NYU Wagner, which is on my vision board back here from 2018, and I was with my intern and I got the acceptance, and she was like, Maria, you're not going to post that on social media? I was like, for what? And she
For
was
who? Like,
like, gosh. She was like, I would have posted that immediately that I'm going to NYU Wagner. And I was like, for what, girl? I said, unless somebody paying my tuition. So I would say get busy living in your purpose and living out your why. When you're outside, live in the moment. Don't have to post everything. And then watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix. Have you seen that, Isis? I told you to watch.
I actually haven't. I'm not a TV person, but I am gonna watch it because I feel like it's important.
Oh my God, you watch The Social Dilemma on Netflix, you're gonna log out all your accounts. Because it's like spooky how much these, social media executives know us and what they do. So now that I know what's happening and all the data that they're aggregating and getting from us on a day-to-day, you're like, oh my goodness. Like right now, if I were to like look up JetBlue flights to Dominican Republic on my phone, when I get right on Instagram, what's going to come up? A whole
All
bunch.
types of JetBlue ads.
Exactly. They know, they following us. So watch that documentary social dilemma, and you'll probably have like, I need to step back from social. They know, they were like, listen, we know when you looking at your ex-boyfriends, new girlfriends, like these people know what we doing out here. They have our steps traced. So
They in our business.
so what would you say, Isis? What would you say is a good boundary to have a better relationship with social media?
A good boundary, I feel like just focusing on yourself and getting more in tune with who you are before you're going on social media and looking at others. Because I feel like for my generation in particular, like you see something, you're like, oh, I have to hop on that trend. Like I have to do that. But it's like, do you know what you personally like? Like, do you know what you're personally going for? Because I feel like everybody gets lost in the sauce. So making sure that you know exactly what you want from life and your purpose. And I feel like a vision board would definitely be good for that. And journaling as well. I've started to get into journaling to write down like my passions, what I want to do, and making sure like I'm sticking to that and, holding myself accountable.
Oh, that's amazing. Journaling. I like that. Journaling is written. You know what I love about journaling? You can see your growth. Like I see my journal entries from like 10 years ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Like maybe my handwriting is different. So I get that. That's really good. And like I said, I feel for your generation because it's all social media. I'm like, do the kids even go play outside anymore?
They don't. They
That's
don't.
Isis. Do you know how to jump double dutch? You're not gonna be.
I do. I had a good childhood. I didn't really have a phone when I was younger. Like my mom made sure that I was out in the park. Like,
Okay.
but the
Good.
kids nowadays, they have their little iPads. I'm like, oh wow.
Oh, that's right, Bianna. It is a highlight reel. I like to remind myself that social media isn't always real, so I should not compare myself. And let me tell you something,
Hmm.
yeah, honey. What you think is somebody's like? I don't want to say people like to front, but people like to front. You know
A
what I
little
mean?
bit. They do.
To put on a facade and make something seem like other than it really is, or those relationships that you envy. And I will be very honest and candid enough to say I know so many relationships on social media that look amazing, and little do you know that he is out here living real foul. So sometimes we envy in something and we don't even know the full backstory to it. Does that make sense? Like it's like you think
Hmm.
the person is in a great relationship, and little do you know that her husband or her boyfriend is, out here being, cheater, pumpkin eater. You have somebody who you think is living financially well, and they may not be doing that picture. They got paid to take that picture in front of that plane. That's not a plane that they really took, or it just always is a facade. It is always not what you think it is. And I talk about. I remember this study where there was an article, and this guy posted like he was a keynote speaker in Malibu or Hawaii, and come to find out the truth was his company paid. There was a conference in Hawaii. His
Hmm.
company, so all the employees went. He was like a workshop speaker, but he had made it seem like he was a keynote. So it's like you don't ever know. And then honestly, you never know what people had to go through to get where they are. Because one thing I that frustrates me about social too is that people don't post or tear about their losses. Everybody posts about their wins. And I'm like, I'm gonna work on changing the narrative. Like today was a messed up day, and this is what happened. Or these are the no's. I hear no's way more than I hear yeses. I go through way more challenges than I do wins, and then it makes me appreciate my wins. But it's like you never know what people are going through, and people might just be posting their wins, and you didn't know they went through hell to get there. So that's another thing. Like you said,
Hmm.
beyond not always what you think it is.
Definitely to go back to that, I feel like people have this like, mini obsession with perfection. And I feel like social media has definitely triggered that.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
You know how I feel about perfectionism.
Yeah.
Is a
I
facade. Is not real, because for me and just my studies around perfectionism, you're trying to control your other people's perception of you, and you can't do that. Like no matter what you post, someone is going to have something. May Like you can say A, somebody heard you say B, C, and D. You can post this, and someone say, well, why didn't you post it like that? So you can try your hardest to satisfy people and to make everyone happy and have this image of perfectionism because you want to have a perception of perfectionism so you can control the narrative of how people respond to you so you don't experience the hurt of criticism, judgment, and rejection. But you can't always control that, so you might as well do what's true to you and be yourself, because trying to live for other people and being perfect so that other people can approve you, that's too much power to give away.
And that's too much work. It is a lot of work.
Oh my God. Remember in the fall program how the students were talking about all that they do to post a picture?
Yeah, like asking their friends, like, is this cute? Is this cute? I'm like, oh, that's a lot of work.
It's
Like,
a lot of work. If I got to send my picture through a chain of command
and
of
now what
five,
if they don't like it? Now you're not gonna post that cute picture?
exactly. There you go. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Yep. So I'm going to ask you, Isis, because this is more your generation. What do you wish you would have known before creating a social media account?
Oh, that's a good question. What I wish I would have known. I wish I would have known how hard, or no, not even, like how serious people take social media. Like you said, like, asking your friends, or like, oh, I have to make sure I post my new shoes so everybody knows that I have the money, or I gotta make sure I post I'm at this really nice restaurant so people know that I'm living my best. And it's like, I feel like a lot of people are just missing out on the moments and just missing out on like the real genuine stuff because of social media. So I feel like I wish I would have known that, because I feel like I've fallen into that a little bit, but like because I'm in this internship, I've steered away from it. And I feel like I would have equipped myself in a way to like, work on myself and have more self-confidence before making social media, because it does, my inner saboteur be messing with me sometimes. So I wish I
Mm.
would have like, worked on myself first before putting myself out there. Because it's scary, because you never know what people can say, because you can't control what people think about you. You can't control those comments and anything. So I feel like I wish I would have equipped myself to be, have a little bit more of a thicker skin, I guess you can say. But it is what it is. I've learned from it, and I feel like my relationship with social media is a lot more positive than it used to be.
Good. I love that. Thank you. Thank you, Isis. Look at you. Making the best out of this. I like that we spreading the positivity. Spread positivity. I think for me, what I would have like known before creating social media is how people really make assumptions of our lives off of social media. And you can't always control it. Sometimes I'm like, people really have what what the things that come back to me. I'm like, you really think that's who I am? I know assumption of, and I think my experience has possibly been more in dating, that guys see this woman on social media and you're this and you're CEO and blah 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 and you're Mrs. Boss. And I'm like, well, right now I'm just Maria on a date. So I don't know why you take, I'm like, don't be fooled. I'm still a woman. I'm still pink on the inside. So just how people make assumptions about who you are based on what you're posting. Don't get me wrong, that is who I am. But there's a whole nother side of me. And when people see that side, the fun, like to have fun, let's go out, let's, have a good time. It's like, I never thought that you were like this. I'm like, oh, okay. So you really, and I get it. I understand that you can make assumptions on other people, but there's so much going off other people's lives, and just how powerful that is if you post something, what people think, what people don't think. And I'm like, wow, social media is really powerful. So that's hi, Alexis. One of our Alexis from our 2020 group is on. I just see.
Hi, Alexis.
Hi, Alexis. Yeah, so that's it. People really do make assumptions about social media. So that's
Isn't
it.
it refreshing, like, just to hear them be like, wow, like, you're so different? Like, yeah, because I don't put all my business on social
There
media.
you go, that part. I'm not putting all my business out. You don't need to know who, what, when, why. Like, I like to, and again, that's me wanting to control the narrative, but it's also, like I said, me protecting certain things that are important to me. Like, you don't need to know all the things about what I do all the time. And then I know for me, I have to be responsible with my platform. I have I have a leading organization, young women following me. I have to be responsible with what I'm posting. So there's certain,
Hmm.
like, this does not need to be seen on social media. This, it's just not, it's living a lifestyle and being conscious and being responsible with the platform God has given me. And just also, like I said, protecting my space, protecting my energy. No, 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 not everybody needs to know everything.
No, I definitely feel you. I feel like my little motto when it comes to social media is definitely protecting my peace. Definitely.
At all costs.
At all costs. But that was all my questions, and you answered them beautifully. So,
You darling.
yeah, that was it. That was a really great talk. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Glenda. My cousin.
Hello, hello.
So yeah, so if y'all like what y'all hear, y'all support the organization by texting Embrace to 844-701-5181 or hit the link in our bio to make a donation. We also have the fundraiser link. These are going to be your opportunities to get to know me, get to know of the team. Next time it won't be Isis, it will be Autumn next time. And when's our next one? April 12th, right?
Yeah,
April 12th. And what are we talking about? Or April 12th, remind
I
me.
think we're going to be talking about vision boards.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's career pivots, making the career.
Oh, oh, oh.
It'll either be the career pivot or making your vision board work for you. One of the two. It will definitely be April 12th at 7 p.m. We'll be doing these pink table talks once a month, at least more likely twice a month. But we'll be back in 3 weeks, April 12th, 7 p.m. for the next pink table talk. And like I said, you guys get to have these conversations with us live, and you get to support the work. We really excited to bring other women on, so it's not just myself chatting. I'll probably be interviewing some amazing women. And if y'all have any suggestions for topics, ideas that y'all want to take at the pink table talk, you know what I mean, no. And that's pretty much it. I mean, thank you so much, everybody, for joining
Thank
us.
you.
Make sure to share this video, watch the replay, share it back, and really just do whatever it is that you need to do to protect your peace and protect your energy, because social media will have you out here like thinking. I posted, Tiffany the Budgetnista says, she said social media will have you feeling really bad about a good life. And
Right.
times you really understand how you don't understand how blessed we are because you're busy comparing, and somebody would love to have what you have. So like, don't be out here, feeling bad about a great life that you already have. It's not always what it's cracked up to be.
I definitely feel you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This was a really great conversation.
Thank you, Isis. You did an amazing job. Sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
So proud of you. All righty. So watch the replay, all that jazz, and enjoy the rest of your Monday evening.
You as well. Good night, everyone.
Bye.